What's up, everybody? Thomas J. Barkowski. I just wanted to talk to you about the calling in Indianapolis. Today is Friday night. I was at the calling on Saturday, and I did Battle Hardened on Sunday. So I brought Oldham, aggressive Oldham, to the calling. This is my second calling. I went to the calling in Indianapolis last year. Last year I brought Katsu. Didn't do very well. I was playing for a couple months, and then I played a few months with Katsu, and I was tired of just losing to what I felt was better decks, not better players per se. So then I built aggressive Oldham. I stole the deck from Wesley Dong, who came 5th in Worlds. And funny enough, I actually got to meet Wesley Dong at the calling in Indianapolis in the Battle Hardened. We paired up in round 3, round 4 or so. But let's start with the calling. So I had to work Friday night, got home from work 9:30, 9:45, threw some clothes into a backpack or a little traveling bag, and I brought my Oldham deck. And then I brought a bunch of just spare Majestics that maybe I could trade away, brought some commoner decks, maybe I could play some extra games with people, and a couple extra play mats that I was trying to sell or trade. So then Saturday morning, we woke up at 5 a.m. We hit the road at like 5:30. 2.5 hours later, 8 o'clock, just before 8, we pull into town. I live in Central Time, Indianapolis Eastern Time, so we move forward to 9. We park, I run downstairs and check in, get a deck list, fill out the deck list, and then I go talk to MinMax. I am local to Chicago. The last year I was in Northwest Indiana, and now I'm just a little bit south of Chicagoland. So MinMax hosts a bunch of awesome events. So every time I can, I go say hello to them, say hello to Sam and Peter and everybody else that works there, Nick. Absolutely great people. If you need your singles, buy them from MinMax. If you have a bunch of extra stuff you're trying to sell, sell it to MinMax. Great people. If you're ever in the Chicagoland area, I would try to go out to one of their events. They're super great. When we have the bigger events, like we just had ProQuest season, last time we did Road to Nationals, they rent out a big hall that can fit about 100 people or so. Usually they cap it at 64, and we almost fill it, or we fill it every single time. It's just a wonderful community, a wonderful environment provided by MinMax, the owner, all the workers, and the local Chicago players. I would 100% recommend if you can ever get yourself to MinMax and check it out. And I'm not sponsored by them or anything, they're just great people, and they've always welcomed me into their store. So I do aggressive Oldham. Round 1, well, even before round 1, I park, I walk downstairs, I see Pheno Black, and I see Mr. Silver. So I watch a ton of YouTube content. I'm very active on Twitter, and I'm active on the Facebook buy and sell page and the fan page. So I instantly recognize them and I say hello to them, and it was cool to see them in public. And then we see Yanji. I didn't say hello to Yanji because he was filling out a deck list and he looked pretty, serious and busy. So I wanted to leave him alone. I saw Michael Hamilton. I saw Mr. Brody with them, but they were getting ready. And then of course Michael Hamilton went on to win the calling, so I didn't bother them either. And we go round 1. I play into a 5 with aggressive Oldham, 9 pummels, 3 Earthlord Surge, Endless Winters, just trying to take damage, just deal 8, 9, 10 plus pummels, discard them, give them a frostbite. Now, I did not recognize the significance of losing Winter's Wail. I played 2 PQs with Winter's Wail before the banning, MinMax and Gift of Games. Went 3-3 in one, went 2-2 in another, and dropped because I couldn't make top 8. And I was feeling really good. Now, the 3rd week when the ban came out, I went to Texas to go to the WWE Royal Rumble. So I did not get any practice with Titan's Fist. I did not change my deck, so I had 15 ice cards, primarily to activate Winter's Wail and to Ice D-React. And then when I was trying to swing Titan's Fist, a lot of the times it was coming in for 3 because I had the blue ice card in hand and it didn't buff it to 4. And I couldn't play Winter's Wail because it was banned. Round 1, we played 5, we beat 5, feeling great. Round 2, we paired to Tariq Patel. And he's playing Briar, and he's a great player. He's a national champ. So he absolutely crushes me. And then he was nice enough to give me these little tokens, which, let's see if I can find them. I sleeved them. But he's on the Dragon Shield team, and so is Nick Butcher and Matt Rogers. So we'll hold them up here. Hopefully there's not really bad glare. But he gave me these little token sleeves as a memento for playing him. And so we lose like 13, 11, 0. Got absolutely crushed. He's way better player than I am. His deck was way more tuned. He has way more experience, and he just dominated me throughout every turn of the game. Turn 3, we go into another Briar. I lose 1-0, so I'm 1-2 overall. Definitely would have won if I had Winter's Wail. There was 2 or 3 times I swung Titan's Fist for 3 when it could have been Winter's Wail for 4, threatening Frostbite. So they just barely got through on me. And then where did I go round 4? Round 4, I paired into Dromai. And unfortunately for Dromai, my deck went absolutely bananas. Turn 2, turn 3, turn 4, I was able to pummel a big red attack. And one of those times I was able to double pummel. And then every time they made a dragon, I just popped it with their Phantasm. And they were not running Phantasmal Footsteps, so they lost their action point, and they were not running Ghostly Touch. So like 6 turns into the game, it was over. So I'm feeling really good. I'm 2-2. And we go into a slower, not fatigue Oldham, but just a slower, mid-range, control-y kind of Oldham. Not Crown of Seeding every time, but having it available if they need it. I play Crown of Providence because I'm just trying to go. And they take me out to the deep end. When my deck starts to thin out, I have a lot of 2 blocks, 9 pummels, Earthflare Surge, Ice cards. They're all 2 blocks. So then I barely lose that game. Round 6, I play the same Oldham. And he takes me out to the deep end. We both have like 4 cards left, and he's able to just barely kill me. It was a really fun, really great game. And then round 7, I play Levia, and they were blocking out a lot, taking some damage, blocking out a lot, taking some damage, giving me some damage. We're going back and forth. They had about 10, 12, maybe 15 cards left in their deck. I'm sitting pretty, maybe 30, 25, 28 cards. And I'm at 7 life, and they're attacking, and I go down to 3, because 1 Reckless swings and banish. I knew they had a Reckless Swing in Arsenal, or at least I felt it in my stomach they had a Reckless Swing in Arsenal. And then I wasn't sure if they had a 3rd swing in the deck, but I was hoping they weren't going to top deck it, because I was going to prevent 11 damage if I went down to 3. So I went down to 3, I play Earthflare Surge into an Icy Encounter off of my Tunic. So I'm dealing 11 damage, threatening Frostbite. We're at 3 health. They play the Reckless Swing from Arsenal, and then they top decked the 3rd Reckless Swing when they drew up. So I had died with lethal on the board, so I was 2-5. It was super fun, and I must admit, if you plan on going to a calling, but you're a little bit nervous, maybe you don't have a lot of experience, a lot of practice, absolutely go. It's a great time. If you can go there with a friend, awesome, but if not, the community's great. And you can literally just sit down next to people and start talking to them, talking about Flesh and Blood, talking about how they got into it, what they like, who they're playing, how their game styles have changed, where they're from, you know, how often do they play, and it's really awesome. The Realms Games was there, owner and a bunch of players. Those people were awesome, and there was a bunch of different teams there as well. They're all decked out in their nice, you know, team shirts and stuff, and it's really cool to see. Everybody's having a fun time. Even if we're losing, we're having a fun time. You can go over to the vendors and see all the nice goodies they have there, and you get some trades and stuff. What I didn't, and this was my second calling, and when I went to Indy last year, I just drove down for Saturday, got my butt kicked in the calling, and then drove home. I didn't recognize that playing in the calling and the battle hardened, I wouldn't have any time to look for trades or do side events. So then I kind of got stuck with my side event vouchers. You got a silver and 3 bronze. I ended up trading the 3 bronze to play in the battle hardened, and then the silver one I gave away to my friend. Shout out Ben, you're not watching this, but shout out Ben. Hopefully you were able to get some tickets for that or something at the end of Sunday. So I brought all this stuff down to trade, and I didn't have any time to trade because the calling, you have 7 rounds, and they're, you know, 50 minutes plus that 5 minutes to sideboard and pick your equipment, but it goes by so fast, and as soon as it's over, it's the next round, and you barely have time to eat some food, drink some water, you know, drink an energy drink or some coffee, go to the bathroom. Like, you barely have time for that, let alone trying to make trades with people, trying to make deals with people, buying and selling. So if you're going down with the intent of doing a lot of buying and selling, I wouldn't recommend playing in both the battle hardened and the calling. I would pick one or the other, or I would try to get there Friday when everything first opened and everybody has cash on them and they have their trade binders. I unfortunately wasn't able to get there Friday. I got there Saturday and I didn't do any trades, but that's okay because I wanted to play in the calling. I thought I was decently prepared. I was not prepared. If you want to do well, if you want to day 2, if you want to go positive, 4-3, you have to know your deck in and out. You have to play awesome all the time. And you have to know what the other decks are trying to do. If you don't play against any Boltons and you play a Bolton, people say Bolton's not very good. Bolton will kill you. An experienced Bolton player will absolutely kill you. Same thing with Levia. People say Levia's not good. The guy I played against was on Levia for the last year. He knew how to play the deck. He saw my weaknesses, he killed me. That's on me for not preparing enough. Same thing, you know, Dromai. Dromai is really good. Dash is really good. Unfortunately, I didn't play Dash in the Battle Hardened or the Calling. But everybody I played was extremely well prepared. There were no bad players, there were no gimme wins, and on the flip side, there were no gimme losses. Besides Tariq Patel, I felt competitive in all 7 games I played. In Battle Hardened, I played 6 games, and I felt competitive in all 6 of those. So I go 2-5. I go back to the hotel with my friend. I turned my Oldham deck. I wasn't planning on playing in the Battle Hardened. I wanted to more do side events and trades, but you know, I was feeling a little down. I'm like, well, we're here. Let's might as well play in Battle Hardened. We're staying the night. So I turned my aggressive Oldham deck into a Blitz deck. Then I run over to MinMax in the morning because I need a Winter's Whale. I need Blossom of Spring. And there was some other card that's legal in Blitz that I didn't have that MinMax allowed me to borrow. I can't think of it. But then I also forgot that Pulse of Ice and Loft's a card in Blitz that's totally legal. And I just didn't have the right setup because I haven't practiced Blitz in a really long time. Last time I played Blitz was what? Skirmish Season 5 or a Road to National maybe? I'm not even sure. I was playing Kasai from like the Vegas Calling or Blitz 3-team Calling. And I was playing Kasai back then. That was like June or July. So that's 7 months ago. I haven't played Blitz. So I got absolutely annihilated. Round 1, we're going to Prism. Prism's really good. All she has to do is make 2 or 3 spectral shields, and then she can block out and just attack 1/1/1, and you'll die. You can't attack the spectral shield, so you just die. But I played it great, totally won. I fatigued it just by popping everything, keeping the spectrals off the field, and I killed the Prism. Round 2 Prism, I played absolutely phenomenal, and they played great. And then I finally had 3 spectral shields, and I finally got where I could Terra Sunder. They already played 2 Sinks and 2 Soul Shields. So I could Terra Sunder the Hammer and come in for 5. They attack me Spectral Shield, Spectral Shield, Spectral Shield. I throw out my second blue in front of the Spectral Shield instead of taking 1. I had 6 health. I could have went to 5, but I blocked it, stayed at 6, had 2 cards in my hand. Now, if you're not a dummy like me, Terra Sunder costs 3. So you play Terra Sunder, and the pitch for Terra Sunder is 2 cards. So I had no card to swing the hammer for 5 dominate because I had blocked with my 3rd card. So stupid mistake. So I conceded. There was no way around that. And he was just going to hit me with those stupid spectral shields next turn, and I was going to die. Turn 4, game 4. No, that's Prism, game 3. Who did I play? That might have been when I played Wesley Dong. So I was able to meet Wesley Dong, who I stole his aggressive aggro Oldham deck from Worlds, and then I tweaked it a little bit on Talishar and brought it. So I was really excited when I saw the name. I knew I was going to lose. I mean, if he came 5th in the world, I'm not going to beat him. Like, there's no chance. So I saw Wesley Dong pop up, and I got super excited. So I went over and I was like, you don't know me, but you know me, because I was talking to you on YouTube, trying to figure out how to build your Oldham deck. And he's like, oh yeah, you're the guy. He wasn't really winning with it, and then he got more reps, and he started to win. He took an armory down. I was like, yep, that's me. So it was cool to meet him. That's when I found out that Pulse of Ice and Loft is a card in Blitz, and man, that card's awesome. For being a blue Ice Earth card to double activate Oldham, it's absolutely bananas. And it's an ice card blue, so you can pitch it from Winter's Whale. So completely banana. And so he beat me. We went down to the last 2 cards in the deck. His last 2 cards was Heart, a Findall, and the Pulse. And my last 2 cards was a blue Earth, Autumn's Touch, and some other blue. And he was playing Sledge, I was playing Winter's Whale. So he swung the Sledge for 6, I had 3 health, he had 3 health. I had to block up to 2 cards or I was going to die. So then I had no cards in my deck, no cards in hand, couldn't do anything, and he could swing again. So I conceded, great game, it was super duper fun. And then round 4, that was round Prism. And then we went into Oldham, got crushed by Kano. I played 18 reds, 22 blues, and I haven't played Kano in Blitz. I forgot that Aether Wildfire doesn't exist in Blitz, and I didn't see either of my 2 Oasis the whole game. I think we played 8 turns, and I didn't see an Oasis. They're both on the bottom of my deck. So Kano wins. We play KO, they roll terrible. They roll like 2s and 3s, and I just steamroll this KO. And then round 6, I'm 2 and 3, feeling decent, got to play Wesley Dawn. Was awesome. I play a Bravo. And this lady sits down, the first lady I played against, at the calling, or Battle Hard, just Indianapolis, first lady I played against. And we're starting to talk, and she goes, oh yeah, you know, my husband bought Welcome to Wraith. I've been playing Bravo since. So, you know, she's sitting on like 2.5 years of experience with Bravo, and man, she absolutely crippling crushes my face off and just dominate with Bravo. He's so good. And I lose. Turn 1, turn 0, she dominates a red chokeslam for 8. Turn 2, she dominates a crippling crush, and then turn 3, she plays some type of red card and she pummels it. So it was over in like 3 turns. That's when I decided to drop. Unfortunately, the system didn't drop me, so then I was paired up into the next round. I went up to the guy and said, hey, I'm 2-4, I don't want to play anymore, I got a 3-hour drive home, so I'm taking the L. And then I tried to drop again, and it didn't drop me a second time, so obviously I'm an idiot. That's on me. So then it paired me into round 8, but I was already driving home. So, you know, I paid my parking, I got out of Indianapolis, got on the highway to drive north, back up to the Chicagoland. And overall, I had a great time. I watched the top 8 matches on Man Saint's YouTube page. Man Saint did a phenomenal job. Ethnic Smoke does a phenomenal job at casting, and Michael Hamilton takes it down because he's, you know, just an absolute beast, phenomenal player. A lot of people are mad that 5 of the 8 Oldhams, or players, were Oldhams in the top 8, but Icelander won, even with the Postman, the Amulet Band. And as an Oldham player that doesn't play Crown of Seeds, and I don't play Ramparts, and I'm not trying to fatigue, it's super fun, aggressive deck into the decks I do not want to block. If you don't want to block and you throw out CNC and then you force them to block 6 and you pummel it, it's devastating. Phi hates it, Dash hates it, Briar hates it. But Briar can run super hot with those stupid channels where they can keep them out 3 turns and absolutely take your face off. Force of Nature, draw a card, and it's over, you die. Phi can absolutely go bananas with the Mask of Pouncing Lynx, the Art of War turns, the Phoenix Flame, the Flame Call Awakening, like he can go at sick. And of course Dash can just boost you through the roof and you just die in like 3 turns because her output, her damage output's amazing. So it's super fun. I'm going to revisit the Oldham deck probably in the future. Although originally I was on Katsu, and with Outsiders looks absolutely phenomenal. With more Katsu support, with some Benji support, I probably will test out Ninja, especially if there's some broken equipment in there. All the cards leaked so far looked amazing. The Blood Rot token, the Inertia token, whatever the 3rd token is that I can't think of, they all look really good. And the hybrid cards sound very, very interesting. And I'm super pumped to play that. But if you've never been to a calling, you've never been to a Battle Hardened, you've never gone out to a big skirmish or Road to Nationals, or you're playing a ProQuest just because you're nervous or you don't know anything, the community is great. So go out there, play, meet some people, talk to people. I have not, in the last 15 months that I've been playing, had a bad experience with players or with an LGS or at any type of tournament type stuff. Everybody's been really great. The players have been really great and really welcoming. And most of the LGSs are absolutely phenomenal. You might find a bad LGS every once in a while, but that's not the norm in Flesh and Blood. So definitely recommend going there. Even if you're sucked like me and you go 2-5, whatever, it's a fun experience. I live, you know, only 3 hours of the way, 2.5 hours or so, plus an hour time change. So it costs a couple $100. Go out there, have a great weekend, and then come back feeling good. So that was the Calling Indie. I'm Thomas Barkowski. If you like this type of content, this is more Bronson style, just a normal guy in a normal room in my man cave with my cool posters. You know, my posters are much better than I am as a player. If you like this kind of stuff, like and subscribe. Have a great day.